Hey guys, I'm Daisho and I'm here bringing you another draft. The other one just finished, obviously. Didn't end as well as I had hoped, but it was still a pretty good draft. I ended up in second place, which gave me 4 prize packs, so that's pretty awesome. And then the way that we do it is with our group, since we give away all the packs so that nobody really makes any money off it, we give out 5 packs to the winner, 4 to the second place, 3 to the third, and 3 to the fourth. And then the last one is split, or is not split. It's it is raffled off to whoever wins the raffle, and I got lucky and I won that. So I ended up getting 5 packs, and it only cost 5 packs to enter. So that's pretty sweet for me. I didn't even have to pay for this one. So I'm really happy about that. Anyway, I've opened up a pack and there's a collective blessing in it, and I'm like, all right, I'll snap pick this, obviously. But then in this pack, there's really nothing for me. I mean, there's like a Knightly Valor that I could have taken, or maybe a Rest in Peace for $1 worth of value. But I take the Rakdos Rage Mutt. I think I liked that card a lot more before I played with it in this draft, and I like it a lot less now, but I still think it was a pretty good card. And then here in this pack, there's really not much for me. I mean, there's a Corrosive Guildmage, a Tenement Crasher, Runewing, like Vassal Soul. I think I like Runewing better than Vassal Soul, but and then there's Perilous Shadow, which I think is the best card in the pack. I mean, maybe the Corrosive Guildmage is the best. There's also Rogue's Passage, which is pretty good, but anyway, Perilous Shadow is just really good, and it's already in black, and I want to be in Rakdos because I have the Rage Mutt. I mean, I'd rather be in green-white, but I don't think that's going to happen for whatever reason. I don't know why, but immediately from the beginning, I just did not think it was going to happen, and it was a good prediction because my neighbor, my guy on the right, was actually in green-white, so that's pretty weird. But anyway, I'm going to take the Perilous Shadow and start going hard for Rakdos. Like, I mean, if I start getting more Rakdos passed to me, then I'll know. And then there you go. This pack has got a Splatter Thug and an Augur Spree. And like, I snap picked the Augur Spree, and I think that was definitely the right choice. I mean, Augur Spree is pretty much the best common removal spell in the set. But I mean, Splatter Thug's really good too. And I just figured I'd be able to pick up some Splatter Thugs and Dead Revelers. But you guys will see how that happens. So I got that 4th pick Augur Spree, and now I'm like almost positive that I should be in Rakdos, and that Rakdos to my right is pretty limited. So I think Rakdos is just really, really strong, and if there isn't like more than one other person drafting it, then you are going to be really golden, and you're going to have an awesome deck. But right here, I don't really want to take the Golgari Longlegs since I already have a Rakdos Rage Mutt, and I could take the Golgari Keyrune, but it's not like I really even have anything to splash, and Keyrunes aren't even that good. They're only really usefulness is like when they're in your colors, and then you can actually activate them for a cheap cost. But I'm just going to take the Golgari Longlegs. It's a 5/4 for 5, so it's pretty strong. And yeah, so here this pack's okay for me. It's got an Explosive Impact and a Trader's Instinct and a Vision and a Racketeer. So I'm just going to like basically slam the Explosive Impact. And that actually makes 3 things that are really high on the mana curve. And then this pack is really interesting. So in most red decks, or in most Rakdos decks, you're going to want Frostburn Weird. But then there are like the Izzet decks where you want Lobber Crew instead, which is kind of awkward. But I ended up taking the whatever it was. I ended up taking the Frostburn Weird because I just think that card is so good. And I was pretty happy with it. I mean, I'm always happy with how well Frostburn Weird does. But I think the way my deck ended up turning out, I would have rather had another Lobber Crew because I ended up getting one later. But I would rather had 2 of those. So right here, this pack is just, I think I was talking to a friend, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to slam Dispel from this pack, or whatever. But there's really just Mind Rot and Deviant Glee here. And Deviant Glee's fine, especially in the Rakdos decks, because what happens a lot is there's so many 4 toughness creatures in this format, and they just destroy your 3 power creatures, and I think they did that on purpose. And then they put cards like Divine Glee, Dynacharge, and what other thing was I thinking about? Like Pursuit of Flight in the format, just so that you can break through those 4 toughness creatures, so it gives you tools to actually fight against it, which is pretty sweet. I like how they did that. And I decided to just pick up one because I really want to be that aggro Rakdos deck that has a lot of 2 and 3 power creatures that are cheap, but I mean, they're just really not coming. Here, I mean, it's between Tenement Crasher and like Skullrend, but again, these are both 5 and 6 mana cards. So now I have 2 Rakdos Rage Mutts, a Golgari Longlegs, and a Tenement Crasher, and that's pretty much how the rest of the draft goes. Like, the way I ended up building my deck is not how I wanted to. I wanted it to be an aggressive Rakdos deck, but it really just had to be this deck that's just slow and grindy, and eventually I'll play bigger creatures than you can deal with, and then you're gonna lose. So I pick a Cobble Brute here, and I think Cobble Brute is an interesting card because it's a 5/2 for 4, so it can obviously get in for a ton of damage. Its toughness is almost nothing, so it'll die to pretty much anything in the format, which is unfortunate. But what I do like about it is that if you can make way for it, like if you can give it a Pursuit of Flight in the Izzet deck, or it's really better in the Izzet deck, or if you can Bluster Squall them, or in the Rakdos deck, if you can kill their creatures or whatever and get it in, then it will kill them so quickly, and that's awesome. And then there's this pack, which really doesn't have anything for me. I mean, the best card in this pack is a Lobber Crew for me, and I probably should have taken it here, but I just figure, I mean, I really don't even want to play against Deadbridge Goliath, and I know this was the wrong choice. I should have just passed the Deadbridge Goliath and made somebody's day, but and just taken the Lobber Crew. But instead I take an unplayable card for me, which is really just stupid. I don't know why I did it. I think it was just impulsive. I'm like, oh, I didn't open anything, I'm so sad, now I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep and take this terrible card. I mean, this awesome card, whatever. Here's a Grim Roustabout. I really like this card. I've been talking to people, and I am like, people don't share the same view on it as me. Like, most people think that it's like fine, not great, one of the less good 2-drops, but I think it's really, really awesome. So here in this pack, again, not anything amazing for me. I mean, there's a Sewer Shambler, Vishin Racketeer, Traitorous Instinct. There's a Call of the Conclave, which is going to my Selesnya neighbor, and then I'm gonna end up taking the Lobber Crew out of this pack. Lobber Crew is pretty sweet in this kind of deck. In the kind of deck where I just want to stall, then not only does he stall, but he also starts killing them. And if I end up picking up some more explosive impacts, then, I mean, I'm just going to be like, Lobber Crew you, Lobber Crew you, Lobber Crew you, explosive impact you, Lobber Crew, and then eventually you just die. And then, I don't know, that's really where I want to be in this kind of deck, or in the slow Rakdos deck, because there's definitely 2 Rakdos decks. There's the aggressive one and the slow one, and I am definitely building the slow one here. So here in this pack, there is something really awkward, I believe. Oh no, maybe that's coming a little bit later. Oh no, that looks like it. Yeah, okay, so there's the Izzet Guildgate and the Teleportal in the same pack, and the Transguild Promenade. So I really want to take the Teleportal and then splash it, because I feel like that would be just a sweet finisher in this deck, and that's what I'm going to end up doing. But the problem is the Izzet Guildgate is in this pack, so I need the Izzet Guildgate to splash the Teleportal, but I won't have the Teleportal unless I get the Izzet Guildgate. So I was hoping to either get a Guildgate or a Transguild Promenade later on, but here I finally get rewarded, and I'm pretty happy about this pick. I end up getting like 5th pick Annihilating Fire or something like that, 5th or 6th pick, I don't know, it was crazy. Really late. And then here's a Grim Roustabout. So those 2 picks combined, I'm just like, okay, well maybe I actually should be in Rakdos. This is pretty good. And I started getting excited about it again. Maybe I can actually end up cutting some of the top end and then having that aggressive Rakdos deck like I wanted. So there's a Rakdos Charmer, an Electrickery, and like a Cobble Brute or something like that in this pack. You know, obviously, again, just tossing these, like spoon-feeding my neighbor awesome green cards and giving him a Slime Holding. It's just so good for the Populate deck. But I think I just take an Electrickery here, and Electrickery is good. I mean, it's not great, but the fact that it's so cheap and it has such a, like, powerful effect, or potentially powerful effect, means that I'm going to run it. And then here's like another Goblin Electromancer Electrickery pack. I don't know, it's just the print runs. Sometimes cards are printed next to each other and they're always in the same pack, so I think like Annihilating Fire and Augur Spear are in the same pack a lot, which is really annoying. But anyway, I take the Electrickery here. And by the way, next draft I really want to play Izzet. I haven't tried it yet, and it looks really cool, and I think it could be awesome. But here I take a Rogue's Passage, and I don't end up passing too much. Yeah, okay, there was something in there. I guess I was really struggling to figure out whether or not I wanted to take it. But this is basically insurance. If I don't end up getting that splash with my with the Teleportal, and I can play that Rogue's Passage instead, and it pretty much has a similar effect. It doesn't win the game as quickly, but I mean, if I can give my Golgari Longlegs unblockable like 3 turns in a row, they'll be dead by then. Like, there's no way they're surviving that. Here I take a Skull Rend, and since I know somebody's going to talk about it in the comment section, let's talk about Cryptborn Horror a little bit. That card's just really terrible to the point that it's unplayable. You can't cast it unless you're dealing damage, and even if you do deal damage, the only time it's going to be useful is if you can deal 3 or more. You don't want a 3-cost 2/2, and if you can deal 3 or more, then sometimes you're in a pretty good position. So here I even take a Brush Strider over one. It's just a really bad card, and I mean, there's no way it was making my main deck, so I'd rather hate a card. And here's a Cobble Brute or a Treasured Find. I already have enough top end, so I'm just like, you know what, I'm just going to take a Treasured Find. I actually want this card. And then I get rewarded for it because I get past the last pick, Cobble Brute. So I mean, maybe it's just all these cobble routes going like that makes me want to play Izzet, but I just feel like it would be a fun time trying to build that Izzet deck, and I don't know if it would be the most efficient use of my money, but I feel like it would be fun. So if I can try to get into Izzet, or if like I open a shock land first and like basically the draft is free from then on, then I can do it. But here I am pretty happy because I get a Hallowed Fountain, and Hallowed Fountain's worth like $15, so that's like the entire draft paid for, and I'm like, woohoo, yay, now I don't have to be so sad about my stupid draft anymore. And then my second pick, I get a Hellhole Flailer, so that's pretty much as good as I could have hoped for. Like, maybe an Augur Spree's better, but Hellhole Flailer is pretty much the... Nah, Augur Spree's not better. That card's awesome. I mean, it's just so powerful. When you drop it turn 3, especially if you have an aggressive curve, then you're just like, oh my god. So here there's a Gorehouse Chainwalker and a Rakdos Cackler. I was thinking a little bit about it, but then I just started processing a little bit. There's also an Izzet Guildgate, but I really need one of these two guys. They're so good. I started thinking about it for a little bit, but then like eventually I realized, what am I talking about? Rakdos Cackler is just so much better. And I mean, it was really funny. I was watching a draft online with my friend, and his opponent played a Rakdos Cackler, and he's like, wow, what? That's not supposed to happen. He's not supposed to play relevant turn 1 drops. And then like 2 turns later, we were on the player, so like a turn later we played something gigantic, and then they couldn't do anything about it, so his Cackler got in for 2 damage, and then that was it. Like, it wasn't even something gigantic, it was like a Concordia Pegasus maybe, I don't even know. It was just something dumb. But right here, I mean, I have a choice between... What am I choosing from? I know that I surprised myself with my choice here. Oh yeah, I know what I take now. So there is a Spawn of Rix Maddie, which is a little bit better than Golgari Longlegs in this deck. It's a little bit easier to cast, and it becomes a 6/4, but it can't block. But I'm still thinking that I might be splashing blue at this point, so I take the Soulsworn Spirit because it's just so much better than everything else. And then, what is there? Is it Staticaster? But there's an Annihilating Fire here, so that's definitely what I'm going to be taking, which is pretty sweet. So that's my second Annihilating Fire. I also have an Augur Spree, and pretty soon here I'm going to pick up another card for my deck. Is it this pack? No. What do I end up taking out of this pack? Oh, just another long leg, so more top end to the curve. I mean, there's really nothing here for me. I could take a Dynacharge, but my deck is really not the Dynacharge deck. I don't have a lot of small creatures that need to be breaking through. I already have plenty of stuff to help me break through if I need to. And I really considered just hating the Sunspire Griffin out of this pack. Like, you could tell, I'm moving it to the front of the pack. That's usually where I'm going to go. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to slam this. No, you know what? No, I'm just going to hate the Centaur Herald. And then I end up realizing that if there's too many things for me to hate, then it's not even worth it. So I'm just like, yeah, Dynacharge. No, I'm taking Golgari Longlegs. And I think that was the right choice. I mean, I don't know. I could have... I guess so. I only had 1 Golgari Longlegs. Maybe I should have taken the Spawn of Rix Maddie in the previous pack without the knowledge that I'm going to get it. But right here I get past a pretty late Launch Party. I mean, there's some pretty good cards in this pack, like a Perilous Shadow that I wouldn't mind. But Launch Party is just so much better than any of those, and I just really like the card. I mean, losing a creature can sometimes be a big deal, but often you can craft a situation where it's not too bad for you. And here I'm just like, Cryptborn Horror, or yeah, no, I'm just going to slam the Syncopate. Because, I mean... It's so unlikely, but I know that my cards aren't that good, so if I do randomly get some fixing still, which is pretty impossible at this point, then I can play blue, red, black, and then Grixis, and then my deck would be pretty sweet, I think. Like, if I had good enough fixing to play an Izzet deck right here, I think I would actually have a pretty good deck, but I definitely don't. So I just take the Essence Backlash because there's nothing else in that pack that I want. It was like a Rakdos Ringleader. No, I'm not going to take that card. And here, what do I take? I should have taken the Grizzly Salvage just because I want one, but I took the Batterhorn. It's sideboardable if my opponent's playing like a bunch of key runes, which I think I actually did sideboard it once. And here in the pack where I was going to take the Cackler or the Gorehouse Chainwalker, and I was really thinking about it, Gorehouse Chainwalker made it back anyway, and then I'm just like, how is this possible? I haven't seen any Rakdos the entire draft. One problem that I saw was my neighbor 2 to my right took all the Dead Revelers. He ended up with 3 of them, and he had a pretty sweet deck, but unfortunately, I don't even remember how well he did. But anyway, come back for the actual gameplay videos. I'll be uploading them in the next couple days. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Have a nice day. Bye.